Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Marin. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm great. How are you guys?
Now, how do we say your last name correctly?
Marin.
Marin. Okay,
Marin.
good. We did
Yeah.
have it right. Okay, perfect. So, Mr. Marin, I
Yeah,
have.
absolutely.
Unfortunately, we have one that's out sick today, but I have my Costa Rican group here who are interested in finding out a little bit more about your country. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have them just say hello and introduce themselves, and then they're going to ask you some questions.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
So go ahead. Why don't you say your name? Go ahead. You can go first. This is Luke.
Hey, Luke.
I'm Greg.
Greg.
I'm Jonathan.
And
Hey, Greg.
Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan. How are you
You guys
guys?
can give a wave. Go ahead. He's real. All right, Luke's going to start us off. Luke, go ahead.
What type of leader do you have in your country?
What type of leader do you have in your country?
In our country, we have a president. It is a very similar system to the United States. Right now, we have a woman president. It's the first woman ever to be president in Costa Rica. The only difference with the United States is that we have two vice presidents instead of one. So in the United States, you have President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden, but we have two vice presidents. And we actually have elections coming up in 3 weeks. So in 3 weeks, the whole country is going to go vote for our new president.
Now, do you guys serve for the same amount of time as we do in the United States? Is it a 4-year term, or is it longer or shorter than that?
No, it is. It is exactly like in the United States. It's a 4-year term. The biggest difference is that the same president can't run again until another administration has passed. So in the United States, President Obama was president for 4 years, and then he ran again and won, and so now he's been president. I think this is his 5th year, right?
Mm-hmm.
For us, it's 4 years, and then a new president has to come in.
Excellent.
What is a typical day in your school?
What does a typical day in your school look like?
I think a typical day in our school is very similar to a typical day here in the United States. Students go to school from 8 to 3. Everybody has to wear a uniform. We have very strict rules about wearing a uniform. I see you guys don't have to.
No uniforms here. We're
Is
lucky.
that right, Mr. Herbert?
Yeah, we're lucky. We don't have to have a uniform here.
Yeah, we all have to have. It's a little like light blue uniform that everybody wears, and I think kids, do very similar activities to what you guys do. But in our recess or in our lunch break, everybody plays soccer. So maybe that's the biggest difference, because we all play soccer all the time.
Now, when we spoke, we actually got to speak with the consulate in Mexico, and they said a lot of schools actually allow their students to go home for lunch, depending on where the school is. Is it similar in Costa Rica at all, or do typically most students stay for lunch and have it at school like we do here in the United States?
I think in rural communities, students will go home to have lunch with at their home with their parents. But in big cities, it's very typical to just stay at school, eat at the cafeteria, or kids bring their own lunch.
Go ahead.
What subjects do you learn about in school?
What subjects do you guys study?
What was it?
What subjects?
What subjects?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also very similar to here. Everybody has math, geography, science. I think maybe the difference is history. We learn about Costa Rican history, but we also study U.S. history, because the United States is so important to the entire world. So in our history class, we have to learn everything about Costa Rica and everything about the United States. And also all the classes are in Spanish, right? Spanish is our language, but there's also an English class that everybody has to take English. And computer science is also something that's very, very important in Costa Rican classes.
Excellent.
I see you guys are in a computer lab right now.
Yeah, we're in our computer lab here at school now. Yep, absolutely. So that kind of leads us right into our next question.
Okay.
So go ahead with number 4.
Are you taught another language in school?
Are you taught another language in school?
Yes, absolutely. We're taught English since kindergarten. Everybody has to take English because it's such an important language to know But some of our schools will teach different languages depending on what they prefer. Um, I think more popular other than English is French and German, but everybody learns English.
Excellent. Now, we actually have a language that we learned here in our school that you guys started in kindergarten, which is what?
Spanish.
Yeah, so it's very similar, very parallel between the two countries. Whereas you guys will start in Costa Rica learning English at a young age, we learned Spanish at a young age too. Perfect. Go
That's
ahead on to
wonderful.
number 5.
Do you learn about different cultures and countries in school?
Do you learn about different cultures and countries in your schools?
Oh, absolutely. That's something that's very important to us. In Costa Rica, we're very proud of our country. We love our country. We love our culture. But we're also a very small country. So it's very important to know the rest of the world and know the history and the culture of big countries like the United States, like Russia, like Brazil. So that's very important in our education. Costa Rica is a country the size of West Virginia. So it's very, very small. We only have 4.5 million people. Do you know how many people there are in the United States?
Anybody want to take a guess? Go ahead.
About 60,700,562.
How was that for a good guess, huh?
That's a very good guess. But the United States has over 300 million people,
Yep, even more.
and we only have 4.5. So we're very, very small. So
I think you actually might be.
that
We might actually have similar to that population here in the state of New Jersey, close to 3 million.
yeah.
So it's almost
Yeah.
they have as many people in their country as we do in our entire state, which because we're such a populated state. Okay, number 5. Go ahead, Greg.
Number 6.
6. Yeah, sorry.
What do kids do for fun in your country?
So what do kids do for fun in Costa Rica?
Kids in Costa Rica are very outdoorsy. They really like. I think we're taught at a very young age to be very close with nature and with animals. So kids are very, very used to going, on weekend trips. I know a lot of schools will do. You guys might get a little jealous, but a lot of schools do very fun field trips to rainforests and things like that, and you can, get very close to different kinds of animals. But I also, our biggest passion is soccer. Everybody is crazy about soccer.
I love
That's
soccer.
really our main sport. I don't know if any of you play soccer.
You guys play soccer?
I do.
All right, got a couple.
I want to.
Great, because in the United States you have so many different sports, right? That are so popular: baseball, football, basketball. For us, it's just mainly soccer.
Now, what do you guys like to do for fun?
I usually like read. I like reading.
Good, that's a great one. What about?
I like play sometimes
Mhm.
play in the snow and sometimes play with technology sometimes.
So that's a great question. Our guys up here, we enjoy reading, playing video games, going outside and playing sports, using the computers. Are those type of things also popular in Costa Rica?
Yeah, sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I said our youth up here enjoy video games, sports, building with Legos, using technology, the iPads and computers. Are those things that are parallel with the youth in Costa Rica as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Kids there, everybody loves video games, and you see now everybody, with their all kinds of gadgets that kids have. It's very similar to what you have in the United States.
Excellent. Number 7.
What is a special place kids like to visit in your country?
What's a special place that kids really look forward to visiting in your country? Like here, it's kind of a rite of passage for kids to go and visit Disney World or Disneyland or Great Adventure up here in New Jersey. Is there some place like that in Costa Rica that kids really always look forward to going and visiting?
Yeah, we have one very big amusement park, similar to it's our Disney World, but it's not as big. It's called Parque de Diversiones, which literally means a park of entertainment, a park of fun, and that's something that that kids really look forward to going. But like I said, kids in Costa Rica are very close with nature, and so there's a lot of different rainforests and national parks that kids look forward to going to since they're very young.
I know, and just in looking at vacations as an adult, you kind of see these rainforest adventures with waterfalls and trips to the volcano and zip lining. Is that something that's pretty much just for tourists, or do local children and adults enjoy that kind of activities as well?
No, local people do those activities as well. I think kids get to experience a lot of adventure type activities at a very young age. And ziplining is something. Do you guys know what ziplining is?
Yeah. You like
Go on a tree. Have any of you guys ever done that before?
Has anybody ever done it?
No,
Yes,
not,
I do.
not.
You have?
Yeah, they have that for adventure.
Oh, they do have it at one of the theme parks.
A very good vacation place. I forgot what it was called, but it's really good. It has like a huge pool.
Wildwood?
It's a good one.
No, not
Great
that
Wolf
place.
Flats.
No. But it has a huge, really great pool, and at the night there's like really cool activities you can do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can get like ice cream and everything.
And they had zip lining there?
No.
Oh, but that would be
I
cool.
also like marshmallows and everything. Fun.
It sounds great.
That does sound good, though. All right, go ahead, Greg.
Dinner in USA is the biggest meal. It is the time we spend with our family. Is there a meal similar to that in your country?
So here in the United States, it's kind of
I only went to Wildwood once.
That's okay. Here in the United States, we kind of have that dinner meal as the time where we all usually gather as a family. Is it similar in Costa Rica, or is there a different meal usually where that you might have together as a family?
I think breakfast is our time as a family. We're used to having very large breakfasts at a very early time of the day, and our traditional meal, it's called gallo pinto, and it's rice and beans. And we have that for breakfast.
I would like
So we
that.
have
Not breakfast.
we have large plates of rice and beans and eggs and a lot of fruit and coffee for breakfast, and usually the entire family comes together then, and kids start drinking coffee at a very young age in Costa Rica. It's very, very normal.
I would like that. I don't know if these guys would, but I would enjoy that. Okay, number 9.
What are some special activities you do during your holidays?
Do you guys in Costa Rica have any special holidays that are unique to Costa Rica, or do you do any kind of special traditions for holidays that may be celebrated in the United States?
So what's interesting is that our summer is in June and July, and our winter, our summer is in December and January. It's different from here, right? Our winter is in June and July. So Christmas time for us is very warm summertime. So usually for Christmas break, we all go to the beach. That's something very different from here. We're used to spending Christmas and New Year's on the beach, and obviously we don't have Thanksgiving. We do celebrate Halloween, even though that's also an American holiday. And our Independence Day is on September 15th. So we do our big Independence Day party with fireworks and all that kind of stuff. We do it on September 15th.
Excellent. 11.
Number 10.
10, sorry.
Are
Thank
there
you.
any laws or customs that restrict boys or girls from doing certain things in your country?
Are there any restrictions for genders that say maybe girls can't play a certain sport or work in a certain profession, or is there pretty much equality through all genders and all races in Costa Rica?
Yeah, no, Costa Rica is definitely there's great equality. I can't think of any kind of laws that we would have like that. The biggest difference with the United States is that you can't drive until you're 18. Here in the United States, you can start at 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's that's really the biggest difference. We have you can't drink any alcohol until you're 18. In the United States, it's 21. But in terms of gender, I think it's very, very equal.
I think that's evident just in you telling us that Costa Rica has a woman president already. I think that kind of shows right off the bat that there's no difference between genders.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Our ambassador here in Washington, D.C. Is also a woman. So we have a lot of woman leaders.
Excellent. Now we're on to 11.
what are responsibilities of children in their households?
So what are the responsibilities of children in their households? Like here we have a lot of chores. What would be the responsibility of children in a Costa Rican household?
I think it's very similar to here. You clean up your room and make your bed and everything. But I think maybe in Costa Rica, kids have to play a bigger part in the kitchen. And they help more in the kitchen with preparing meals and things like that. That maybe you guys don't do as much.
Excellent.
I
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan. Say that a little bit. No, say that a little bit louder. Tell them what you say. What do you usually do?
I just tell my parents what to get, and I just lay on the couch.
See, he just kind of tells his mom what he wants for dinner and has her make it for him.
That's great. I mean, I wish I could tell that to my mom.
Go ahead, number 12.
What Olympic sports are most popular in your country for the upcoming Winter Olympics?
Now, first I have to ask, do you have any teams that are participating in the Winter Olympics?
No, we don't have any winter sports, unfortunately. Our country is a tropical, warm country, so we can't participate in any Winter Olympics. We do participate in Summer Olympics, and Costa Rica has only ever won one gold medal in history, and it was in swimming. And that's it. I think the United States, I think we have 4 medals in history in the Olympics. The United States has like 3,000, something like that.
Well, I guess if your country's the size of one of our states, it's kind of relative to size, perhaps.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But all we think about is soccer, and right now we're just getting very excited for the World Cup. You guys know the Soccer World Cup is coming up this summer, right? It's in Brazil.
In Brazil, yeah.
And the United States is playing.
Has Costa Rica qualified for the World Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. Costa Rica, from this region, Costa Rica, the United States, and Honduras were the countries that qualified.
Excellent. 13.
How's your country even hosted an Olympics?
Has your Costa Rica ever hosted an Olympics?
No, we're way too small to host an Olympics. We host smaller tournaments like for Central America. So you guys know there's all these countries in Central America: El Salvador, Nicaragua, Guatemala. So we've hosted tournaments that are regional, but I don't think we have a big enough country to host Olympics.
How are laws created in your country?
So how are laws created in your country?
It's very similar to here in the United States. We have a Congress that it's made up of representatives. So we don't have senators. We just have representatives depending on the size of each of our provinces, which are similar to our states. But it's the same. They write up different laws and they vote on them, and they get created.
Excellent.
What are the different forms of money you use? Can you send us a picture of your money?
Well, first let's ask, what is the type of currency that's used in Costa Rica?
So in Costa Rica, our currency is called colón, and colón means Columbus, which is Christopher Columbus's name, right? In Spanish, it's called Cristobal Colón, and 500 colones is equal to $1. 10,000 colones is $20. A million colones is like $2,000. So literally, we have a lot of millionaires, but they're not exactly wealthy. And I don't have bills with me, unfortunately. Our bills are actually really pretty. They're all different colors, and they all have animals on them. So they kind of look like Monopoly bills, but they're very pretty. I have a coin with me. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's 25 colones. It looks just like a quarter, actually, but it's a golden color.
Now
That's 20.
Oh, go ahead.
That's 20 colones. So I mean, I'm not great at math, but it's a couple of cents.
Now, I'm curious, you said that your bills are represented by animals instead of how ours are represented by political figures. Is there a reason behind that?
Well, no. Our bills on one side they have a political figure, and then on the other side they have a different animal.
And what would be some political figures that you would have on your currency?
For example, on our 10,000 colon bill, which is a green bill, which is worth $20, we have on one side an ex-president who is actually the father of our ambassador here, and he was the president that abolished our army in 1948. So he's very important to our country because our country doesn't have an army. We don't have a military. And when this man became president, he decided that all the money that was spent in the military should be spent in education. So he said one day we don't have an army anymore. All that money goes to schools, and so that's why he's on our highest bill. And then on the other side, I forget what I think it has a puma on the other side of the bill, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've always found that fascinating about Costa Rica because that's one of the first things I ever really learned about was that it's one of the only countries in the world without a military, and that they stay politically neutral on a lot of affairs that are going on, and their focus is primarily on the education and upbringing of the youth in that country.
Yeah, no, Costa Rica, because of having abolished our army, we've been able to develop more than other countries in the region. So that's why we have better schools, we have better infrastructure, and we're I think we understand that very big countries like the United States have to have a military. It's very important. But we also advocate. We try to tell people that they shouldn't spend that much, on military. There's other things that are more important.
Excellent. Now, I know we're done with our listed questions, but does anyone else have a question they want to ask Mr. Marin? Go ahead.
Like, has your country ever played in the World Cup and won?
Has your country ever played in the World Cup and won?
We have played in 3 World Cups. We have never won.
That's a great question.
We played in the World Cup in Italy. In 1990, we played in the World Cup in South Korea in 2002, and we played in the World Cup in Germany in 2006. So this is going to be our 4th World Cup. But just making it to the World Cup is a very big deal for us. We don't do very well in it, unfortunately.
Now I have to ask this, being such a big sports fan,
I also have a question.
is the country going to essentially shut down for your first match in the World Cup to kind of cheer your team on and have a lot of countrywide parties and festivities to watch the game?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think kids don't have school that day. People don't go to work, and the whole country stops. I remember in 2006 for the World Cup in Germany, the first game of the World Cup was Germany against Costa Rica. So it was the inauguration, and the entire country just stopped to watch the game. It's amazing the way it works.
I've tried to explain before. It's kind of like the Super Bowl times 100 because it's although we go to school the next day for the Super Bowl. I mean, if the Super Bowl was held on the weekday, we would probably still have school. But in a lot of countries, soccer is that popular and that embedded in the culture that things will actually stop happening in order to take part in this event.
I also have a question.
Okay.
At winter, does it snow? And if it does school shut down?
Great question. Does it ever snow in Costa Rica? And if it does, would the schools ever close for it?
It never snows in Costa Rica. We have a very, very high mountain called Chirripó. It's our highest peak, and there's hail there. Like hail, like ice. But it could never snow in Costa Rica. Our temperatures are too warm, and where we are we're near the equator, so it doesn't snow. If it ever did snow, I think the entire country would go crazy and close down.
Great question. Go ahead, John.
Wait, does the school close at winter vacation?
Oh, that's another good question. Do they have like a winter recess during the Christmas time where kids do not have to attend school?
Yeah, so during Christmas it's summer. Kids get off for 2 months. So you guys, does your calendar start? You guys started school in August or September,
Yep, September. Yep,
and then you finish
in
in
June.
May.
In June. Yep.
Yeah, so you guys get June and July, sort of a vacation of summer. We get December and January. So our calendar, when you're gonna start third grade, you started in February, and you finish in November.
So they would
And
have off from school during the where we would have Christmas, they would have off from school for their summer vacation. So instead of having just 2 weeks off like we do, they would have 2 months off for their whole summer vacation.
and then in July, which is our winter, we get maybe 2 weeks off, something like that.
Excellent. That was a great question. Jonathan, I'm sorry.
Did you ever have a shark attack?
Oh, that's a good question.
Actually, yeah, there's been a lot of shark attacks lately. That because of climate change and global warming, sharks are kind of changing where they're living, and I'm not sure if it's at sharks like warmer waters or colder water. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that there's been a lot of sharks getting close to our coast, and unfortunately, it's tourists that get attacked a lot. Just because they don't know where they should be swimming and where they shouldn't be swimming. So if you guys go to Costa Rica, you should be very careful. There's a lot of signs of where you can and can't. But we have a lot of shark attacks, especially because we have a lot of surfing. People go to surf. We also have a lot of alligator attacks and crocodile attacks.
Yep, that's great. Great question.
Wait, are the sharks like close to the beach or something?
What was the question?
Are the sharks close to the beach, or does it happen usually off of a boat?
No, they come up to the beach. Where people surf, there's been sharks that come right up to where people are surfing and swimming. It's amazing, and it's kind of scary. It doesn't happen that often, but it does happen.
Good question.
In our state, it doesn't.
Yeah. Although we're right on the beach, we're very lucky. We're only about 4 miles from our beach at the Atlantic Ocean. It's very rare to read about a shark attack here in New Jersey.
Where are you guys exactly?
We're in Monmouth County, which is, if you look at a map of New Jersey, there's kind of a hooked-shaped beach at the very northern coast called Sandy Hook, and
That's where I live.
we're about 3 miles from Sandy Hook. So if we walk to our coastline, we could actually look across the bay and see New York City skyline from where we are. So we're right kind of surrounded on two sides by the Raritan Bay on the north and the Atlantic Ocean on our east coast. So we're in a great location as far as having the ability to have the beach so close to us.
Oh wow, that's great. Well, I'm at the Costa Rican Embassy here in Washington D.C. And when you're here, when you're inside of this embassy, you're in Costa Rican territory. So if you guys ever come to Washington D.C. and want to visit an embassy, let me know.
And we will extend the visit if you ever want to come up to New Jersey and stop by an elementary school. You're more than welcome to come up and visit us here.
Absolutely, thank you. I've actually never been to I've been to New York, but I've never been to New Jersey. And interesting, New Jersey is where the majority of Costa Ricans in the United States live.
Really?
New Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey. You know how different countries will have different communities. Our Costa Rican community is mainly in New Jersey. I'm not sure why, but that's just the way it works. And since that community keeps growing and growing, the people that come with their families and everything, they go there because there's Costa Ricans there.
Now, is there like a city or a county that typically has more population than more? Is it like an urban center, or is it all over the New Jersey?
I want to say like Newark area, but I'm not 100% sure where exactly.
Excellent.
Has there been do you know something called Bigfoot?
Is there any legend, any legends or folklores that happen in Costa Rica? Like around here, you'll hear a legend or a folklore about Bigfoot in the woods, or the New Jersey Devil who lives in the Pine Barren areas here. Are there any folklore or legends that take place in Costa Rica for the kids?
Wait, so the New Jersey Devils, that's actually a real thing?
That's actually it's an old folklore that's told about when New Jersey was unpopulated. There's an entire chunk of southern New Jersey called the Pine Barrens, where it's very sandy floor of a jungle filled with pine trees, and it's rumored that this Jersey Devil lives and roams through the Pine Barrens, the woods in South New Jersey, and that's where the hockey team actually took its name from. The Jersey Devils were actually named after this folklore that was told for generations. So, is there any kind of folklore or legend that kind of is in Costa Rica?
Yeah, for for some reason we have. I think it's told in other countries too, but we have this tale called La Llorona, which means the crying woman, and it's said that this lady went to a bridge and she threw her baby into a river and it drowned, and so at night if you drive past it you can see her crying there, and it's told to kids that are that she'll come and steal you away if you're misbehaving or crying at night. And for some reason, kids grow up very afraid of that tale.
I can see why.
But it gets kids to stop crying.
There you go. Now, any other questions? I cannot thank you enough. This has been absolutely fantastic. I wish the other two were here and feeling better, but I was able to do a screen recording of this, so we will be able to show it to the kids who missed it. And I mean, this has just been a way for us to reach out and find out about a culture, and it kind of gives the kids so much more than reading a book or just looking on the internet, and allowing us even just to hear those personal stories of experiences that you've shared is something I think that these guys will always remember. So I cannot thank you enough.
No, thank you guys so much, especially for your interest. And are you doing a lot of different countries?
We have 9 countries that we're doing, including Costa Rica, Brazil, Egypt, Mexico, Germany, Poland, Philippines, and Russia. So there's quite a bit, and we've been very successful in reaching out to the different embassies to have our interviews, which has been great. And the embassy in Poland actually put us in contact with the school in Poland, so that group will actually get to talk to a classroom, which we're excited about next week. So it'll be very, very neat for us to have that experience.
Well, mine and Jonathan's teacher also went to Costa Rica also.
Yeah.
He what? Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Their classroom teacher actually took a trip to Costa Rica herself and visited the country.
Oh wow, that's really great. And how did you guys pick those countries to work on?
That's a great question.
There was like a sheet that put your 3 favorite, and whatever one you put on the top, that's the one you. Yeah, there's like a choice the teacher would choose, and she would put it upside down, and then you wouldn't see what it would be, and then she would count to 3, and then everybody would turn it over, and then you would see what country it was.
So they got to vote for their 3 countries they were most interested in, and they kind of collaborated on all 3 of the 3rd grade classes that are in our school are collaborating on this project together. So we have from 2 different classes here, 2 different homerooms, students from the same grade level but different homeroom teachers.
I was thinking of Brazil really much, but I think I really do like Costa Rica.
So they got to vote for their top 3 choices of countries they were interested in learning about, and Costa Rica happened to be one of the top, and students chose from there. So they took an initial vote to pick the countries, and then a second vote for the children to pick what their group was that they wanted to go into.
That's really great. And have you guys traveled? Have you guys been outside of the United States with your families?
Has anyone been outside of the
Yeah,
United States?
I went to Pennsylvania.
Well,
No, I haven't really.
not outside of the only to different states here in the United States.
Okay.
Oh, Puerto Rico. Yep. Well,
Okay.
yeah, that's excellent.
Well, I hope you guys get to go to Costa Rica one day. You guys will really have fun there.
I think you're talking me into taking a trip to Costa Rica sometime soon.
Absolutely, yeah, no. And if you guys have ever any questions about traveling or anything, please let me know.
All right. Well, what do we say?
Thank you.
No, thank you guys so much. Actually, Mr. Herbert, I would love it if you could get in the frame and I could get try to get a screenshot of you guys.
I would love to be in this. Let's see if we can get me in here. There we go. Am I in?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna try to do this with my phone real quick. Let's see.
Smile.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Mr. Marin, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And when we finish this, I'd love to send you a link to our finished product here.
Perfect.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
You too. Take
Bye-bye.
care, guys.